Hi there, my name is Melinda. I'm a Sephora team member, and today I'm going to show you 3 no heat hairstyles that you can do to really let your hair restore, take a little break from the heat. And so if you're taking a video chat interview or you have a nice video chat happy hour, you still look cute while you're staying at home, but you're letting your hair restore itself. So let's jump in. So as you can see, I French braided my hair last night. This is no heat, so we're going all natural. Before I French braided, I used a really fun new primer I've been loving. It's from Jisoo, and this is the Propolis Infused Polishing Primer. The reason that I like this is because it's super lightweight, first of all, and second of all, it's a really great primer for your hair, even if you're not using heat. I think oftentimes people hear primer and they're like, heat protectant. But this primer in particular will help kind of create very defined waves. I want my waves to last as long as I can, so I use this before braiding. The second thing I'll do just quickly before braiding my hair is shampoo it, but not in the shower because I'm too lazy for that. I love the Way Super Dry Shampoo because it just refreshes and cleans my hair so quickly. It's super dry shampoo. It's not just regular dry shampoo. It works really well. I will do like a workout and I'll feel like my hair gets a little sweaty and I don't want to fully do my full wash routine, and this does the job. It does a really good job of absorbing all of those excess oils. So if you got oily hair and you want something that's going to give you a full refresh, try this one out. Okay, so now for the moment of truth. I've been letting these braids sit all night long. I sleep a lot of hours, so they should be good to go, but I'm just going to pop them out. And voila! Look at how wavy that is. Okay, so now that we have our waves down from our overnight braids, I'm going to add a little bit of texture and grit to my hair before I start my first style. So I'm going to use the Shui Mora, and this is the What a Wave Texturizing Hairspray. Give it a little shake, and then you're just going to kind of butterfly your hair and spray it in mid-shafts to ends. And it smells really good. It's a nice refreshing scent for the morning. And I'm going to take the same amount on the other side. Butterflying your hair. When I say butterflying, I mean like, whoo, it's like a little butterfly wing. I don't know why I made that term up, or maybe I heard someone else say it, but butterflying the hair helps get the product through everything, so you're getting all the texture and volume. All right, so now that you have your mid-length to ends kind of texturized, has a little bit more body, I'm just gonna add a little bit here because for this first style, we're gonna be adding a French braid, and I want the hair to have some nice grit that helps create body within the braid when you kind of pull it apart. More towards the roots. This is the part I'm gonna be braiding, and that should be good. So now we're ready for our first hairstyle. I'm just gonna start by taking a fine tooth comb. Anything like similar to this will work. And I'm going to create a part on the side. So now that you have your hair parted, we're just gonna start by grabbing our first section that we wanna braid with. So I take about an inch width of hair, and you can see how much I'm grabbing there. Like you would any traditional braid, now we're going to section this first part into 3 pieces. So one in the front, one in the middle, and one in the back. And try and keep these sections relatively similar in size, because as you braid, you want all of the sections to look the same. It's gonna create more volume. If one gets too thin, then you might lose some volume in certain parts of the braid. So now that we have our 3 sections, we're gonna start a regular braid. So starting from the back, the outside piece, we're going to put that over the middle piece and pull the middle piece to become the new back piece. And then we're gonna take the front piece and put that over our middle piece, and then do the same in the back, and then once more in the front. So once you've created 2 regular little braids, now we're gonna start adding hair to make the French braid and really create volume. So starting in the back again, you see I have this back piece. I'm gonna grab a chunky section. I like to keep my sections chunky because the chunkier they are, the more voluminous that your braid will look. So a chunky section, and then I'm gonna place that with the original back piece over into the middle of your braid. And then you'll pull out that old middle piece. I'm gonna do the same thing in the front. I'm gonna move that front piece to the middle. I'm gonna grab a nice chunky section from the front and combine it with my middle piece, and then just shoot that back piece back over. Once you get to the point where you've taken the last piece of hair that you can from above your ear, that's when you're gonna wanna start just working it into the hair that's falling down below. You're gonna move away from grabbing it from the scalp or from the root. So you see I grabbed that last piece, so now my next piece I'm gonna push over is from the back. So I'm just gonna grab some sort of hanging piece, a casual hanging piece back there. See this one? And I'm just going to combine it. And what this is going to do is it's just gonna kind of connect your braid to your hair so it flows kind of beautifully at the bottom. I like to leave this front section and avoid taking from it so that you have some waves in the front of your braid as well. And when you get down to the mid-length of your braid towards the bottom, start making those pieces that you're grabbing from, you know, just the middle of your hair, those casual pieces, a little bit thinner. You don't need as much bulk. Now that you are at the bottom of your braid, and I would say, depending on how long your hair is, I have pretty long hair right now, so I'm going to leave a good amount of hair at the bottom out. So we go back to normal braiding, just pulling one piece from the back over to the center, one piece from the back over to the center. Okay, so I'm going to leave just a few inches at the bottom, as you can see, and then I'm gonna take a rubber band. You can take one of those clear ones, a skinny one, whatever you have. The clear ones are my favorite. I just don't have any right now because they kind of like disappear into your hair. And you're just gonna fasten the end of your braid like you would any other, so it can hang with the rest of your hair. The way that you get the volume in the braid is by actually pulling these pieces apart, and that's why we use the texture spray, because it's gonna give it a little bit more grit so it stays in place once you pull it. If your hair is like super soft and silky when you're doing this, it's a little harder. And then once you finish up at the top, just kind of separating and pulling the individual pieces apart a little bit, getting that volume, come down to your actual hanging braid, and you're gonna do the same thing. And don't be scared with the hanging braid. You can really tug on it. Again, I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to braids. I think that they look really pretty, a little messy and tousled, but you see how much bigger and like more impactful that braid is. All right, so now that you've seen the braid come to life, we're gonna move on to the second hairstyle, and so this could technically be day 2 of your no heat routine. Okay, so I went ahead and took out my braid and I'm reset. So let's get started on hairstyle number 2. I'm gonna take my fine tooth comb again and just create a middle part. So if you like a side part for your low buns, then keep your side part. For me, I'm going to do a middle part. Now that you have your middle part set, you're gonna take that same comb and you're gonna continue that part down the back side of your head to divide where you're gonna create your 2 ponytails. Picking up from where you left off, this look is going to be a little messy and tousled, so your part does not have to be perfect by any means. If you don't even want to use a comb, you don't have to. So now I have my 2 sections, my 2 ponies. You want to make sure that they're relatively similar. I'm going to take a rubber band and just tuck this one to the side. And now with the first side we're going to start on, we're going to want to leave the top kind of tousled, so you don't want to pull your hair back too tight. What I like to do is just take my fingers, we put that texture spray in, I can feel it doing its job, take my fingers, tousle that hair a bit, and then create a little pony at the nape of your neck. Leave it a little on the loose side, the ponytail holder, because we're gonna wrap this pony through and you don't want it to be too tight because it'll be way more difficult. So now that you have your pony, you can pull up a little more hair. I take the tips of my fingers and just kind of dig into my root, pull and push that hair up from the pony so you know you have enough to keep it tousled. We're gonna take your tail and you're going to split the difference between this pony down the middle and create a hole. And then you're gonna take the pony and tuck it down the center. Just shove it in there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It'll all come out eventually. You can see how that created a really pretty little twist to the top of where your bun is going to be. So now we're gonna create the bun. You're gonna wanna just grab some pins to secure it, have those handy. We're gonna grab the rest of the pony that we have left. I like to wrap it around real quick before I go in. I have some layers so it kind of helps keep everything in. And we're just gonna twist the bun around itself. Now when you get the tail at the end, just throw it on the bottom underneath there. Grab one of your pins and make sure you grab a little bit of the bun in that pin and the tail of the pony and then push that pin in. You're gonna wanna grab another pin and do the same thing but at the top. So just grab a little bit of the bun hair from the top and then I lift up the pin, grab some of the hair from my root and then push that pin down. By doing the up and then down motion, you're really gonna get something that grabs onto your bun and you don't have to worry about it slipping. Same thing we did with the braid earlier and with our roots to create that tousled look. We're just gonna pull apart our bun a little bit so it looks a little bit more voluminous and messy. So let's do the same thing on the other side. So I can feel a little bit of the tail still sticking out, so I'm just gonna grab another pin, make sure I get it over that, and then just tuck it in. Disappears super quick. Now that we have our bun, we wanna make it look nice and messy and voluminous like this side. So the same way we did with the braid, we're just gonna kind of pull it apart. Hello?
Yo, bro.
Focus! Okay, so now that we have our two buns secured, you can see I have some pieces kind of hanging out on that side. I love that look, so I'm gonna grab some pieces on this side too and just let them do their thing. Last but not least, and this is totally by choice, but I do like to grab a few pieces from the front and kind of just wiggle them out. I have some shorter layers because I feel like it modernizes the look a little bit more, just to have some hair framing your face. And there you go. So now we've done braids, we've done buns, and now we're going to do day 3 of your no heat hairstyling. And this one, I promise, is the most simple. Now that we are reset, we're gonna go and move on to our third hairstyle. I'm going to use this hair oil from Day. It's the Prickly Pear Hair Oil. Now, usually you could use this hair oil from like your mid shafts to ends of your hair just as a regular kind of zhuzhing, get that shine, anti-frizz. It's great for that. For the purpose of this hairstyle, I'm gonna use a bit more. I'm gonna use 3 pumps and use it more as like a styling tool. So take those 3 pumps, separate it between your 2 hands. A really good trick I learned from one of my friends in the hair merchandising department at Sephora is that when you split the products between your hands for hair, get it in between your fingers too and on top of your hands, because as you put it through your hair, you're going to be using all parts of your hands and that way it gets on there quicker. So I'm gonna start at the bottom like I would usually. It smells so good. Oh. All right, so now that we've done the bottom, I'm going to the top, and this is where we're gonna get that super sleek look. Just taking what's left on my hands from that oil, starting at the part of my hair, and just flattening my hair and coating it in this awesome hair oil that's going to help restore any damage. It's gonna help prevent breakage. It's gonna add some moisture back in, and it's really shiny. All right, so now that you have the top super sleek, you're just gonna tuck your hair behind your ears. Then I'm gonna turn to my profile so I can show you how I do this. And then we're just going to form a ponytail at the very bottom nape of your neck. I'm gonna use this brush from Sephora collection. It is really short bristles, usually used for a blowout. The reason I like the short bristles is because I feel like it does a really good job of grabbing all the hair and smoothing it on top. You'll see it just grabs every little bump, every little hair, and smooths it out. So this brush is like so helpful. And see how shiny my hair looks from that oil? That's the key for this look. All right, so now on the other side with the same brush, we're just going to smooth that down. And then finally, with the same brush, you're just gonna do it from the top. So now that our hair is super smooth on top, we're gonna secure it with a rubber band. Once you get it in there, I do a slight pull. Don't pull too hard, because if you pull too hard, it might actually disturb what that you've done on top here. And then you can pull from the bottom of the ponytail through the rubber band to just tighten everything up. Now that you have that, you're gonna grab one more rubber band. I promise we're almost there. The same way we did our buns earlier, you're just gonna twist the hair around itself. I have quite a bit of hair, so I like to use a rubber band for this. If you have less hair, you can definitely use pins. So since I'm gonna be washing after this in a day or so, I'm gonna add a little bit more oil to the top to get that really sleek look. So I just took one more pump, and I'm gonna do the same thing I did before. Just gonna push all those flyaways down from the center of my part and smooth, because I am just obsessed with this like, okay, so I've showed you 3 no heat hairstyles. You have no excuses. I hope you try one of these out. Let me know if you do in the comments below. Hopefully you try all 3. And be sure to subscribe to this channel because there's lots more hair content always down the line. And I'll see you next time. Bye.